Good morning. I'm Amanda Hansen here at the Action News 5 Digital Desk. A lot of you starting off a new year, and one thing that I think is a pretty interesting topic that is very important to talk about is the importance of having a primary care physician. So I want to bring in now nurse practitioner Tondra Armour with Methodist Medical Group. Tondra, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to have you on this morning to talk to you a little bit more about this. I will tell you, I am one of those people that's guilty that over several years, it seemed like when I needed to go to the doctor, I would just go to an urgent care. I would see just one doctor. Next time I'd go, I see a different doctor. And it wasn't until I moved back here to Memphis that I finally established a primary care physician. Can we talk about why it's so important to be able to have that doctor in your corner?
Yes, so having a primary care physician is important because we provide basic health care from mind to body, and we also help to make sure that we take care of we like to offer preventative services. We do quite a few things to care for our patients, but basically it's that general health and making sure we're staying on top of the things that's necessary and trying to capture anything before it even happens or catch it early.
And how important is it to have that doctor that you're seeing consistently? Because, I mean, obviously, they know more about your history. They know what you've been through. Talk about maybe being able to establish that primary care physician and just why it's so important to have a primary care physician working with your health.
Yes. So yes, we recommend that you see a primary care physician at least once a year to get your physical or your annual exam. During that exam, that's when we check for any type of, we do lab work to make sure we're catching any type of illnesses or to make sure everything is working the way it's supposed to be working. General things like checking your kidney function, liver function. We may do STD checks if you're looking for that and wanting to know your status on that. We can offer x-rays and EKGs in certain places so that we're looking at your heart and your lungs. We do your screening at that particular time. So are you up to date with your mammogram? Are you up to date with your pap smear? Are you up to date with your prostate levels? We can screen for diabetes. So it's very important to know your status and to know your baseline and go from there. And then if you do have chronic diseases such as hypertension or diabetes or high cholesterol, it's very important that you're meeting with your primary care physician or provider, because we also follow that too. We want to make sure that you're taking your medications the way they need to be, make sure the medications are working like they need to be. And if you need to go to a specialist, we can even navigate that and make sure we direct you to the right specialist. And we also interact with the specialist to make sure we know what's going on with the specialist and the specialist know what's going on with us as well.
So important. And like you said, that preventative care, if you don't know there's something going on, then how do you treat that before it gets worse? So obviously so important to be able to get ahead of something before it turns into something even worse, where you're dealing with something even more serious. Can you maybe give some advice for someone that's maybe watching today? They're saying, you know, I don't have a primary care physician. I've just kind of hopped around from urgent cares. Is there any advice that you would give when it comes to maybe trying to find the right one for you?
Yes, so oftentimes we get a lot of our patients by referrals as family members that say, hey, I love my doctor, I love who I go to, and they often tell their friends and family about the provider that they're seeing. You can also check with your insurance company to see what providers are in your network and see who may be close to you or in your area. You can also just call and see who's in that area. Methodist has a website, and you can go on our website and look at all the primary care providers. We have about 60 locations in the Mid-South. And so you can go on the Methodist website and you can look at all the different providers that we have and all the different locations, and you can see what's the best fit for you. But I definitely recommend that you ask your family and friends, who do they have as a provider? Do they trust their provider? Are they able to get appointments with their providers? How does the provider provide excellent care for them? So it's definitely important to have someone who has been to that provider, that knows they're a great provider. But like I said, if you haven't been to a primary care doctor and you're looking for one, go on the website for Methodist and you can check and see where the providers are. You can call your insurance companies and ask about providers that are in your network, because that's important as well.
Absolutely. And you were saying asking family members and friends. That's actually how I ended up at my primary care physician. My dad started seeing this doctor, then my mom, and now me. So, and of course, we've been happy with that. So it's good to be able to talk to your friends and family because they can let you know what they've experienced going to that doctor. You know, this is a new year, though. We're into 2023. A lot of people making those resolutions, many of those focusing on health, the new year, the new you, and health is usually one of those main focuses for a lot of people. So when is the right time for someone to schedule an appointment with a primary care physician? Is it right now at the beginning of the year?
Yes, get in there and see your primary care doctor. If you haven't seen a doctor at all, haven't had a physical or annual exam, I definitely recommend that you get started with your physical annual exam to get established with that doctor so you know your baseline for the year. You know what you're dealing with and you know what your goal is or what your goal is, so you know what you need to work towards. So it's very important to get in as soon as possible. If you've already have a doctor that's established and you've already had annual exam, we recommend you do that once a year, about the same time every year, depending on your insurance. So definitely, if you can get in there ASAP, get in there as soon as you can to get your physical and get your annual exam so you know your baseline.
All right, Tondra, we talked about a lot of things. Anything you think we missed on that you want to make sure we get out there to the people?
Well, once again, I want to tell people that your primary care doctor offers a lot of different things. We want to make sure that you're up to date on your vaccinations. So this starts in childhood. It doesn't just start in adulthood. So you can get a pediatrician that's considered a primary care doctor for children, and they look at your vaccinations to make sure you're up to date on that. In adulthood, you can transfer or you upgrade from a pediatrician to your primary care doctor. And once again, we're looking at vaccinations. Are you up to date on your flu vaccine? Are you up to date with shingles vaccine, pneumonia vaccine? If you have any chronic conditions, we want to know, are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking your medications like you're supposed to? Are the medications working for you? And if you have any screenings that needs to be done, because primary prevention is most important. So if we can prevent you from becoming a diabetic or prevent you from going into full-blown hypertension, we want to do that. So see us sooner than later so that we can prevent any type of diseases as much as possible. But if not, just so we can do a general check, just like you go and you get your car checked out, we do the same for our patients. So make an appointment soon and come see us.
All right. Well, Tondra Armour, nurse practitioner for Methodist Medical Group. We appreciate your time. So much information just packed with it. And you have a great one, all right?
Thank you. You have a blessed day, too.